Happy today. I am William Brown from imwilliambrown.com. This is Disconnect to Connect One Word Conversations. One Word Conversations is a self discovery, relationship building conversation designed to invite you to look at your language, right? Many times we come up with the most lovely words that we can think of and still find ourselves in a place of disconnection. But I propose by having a one word conversation, we'll learn more about ourselves, the people that we're talking with, and maybe, just maybe, connect with people on a deeper level and improve our relationships. So this is a special show. And so this is the moment where I invite you to like, share, subscribe, do all those things to let you know how um, this episode is, and then how, and that you're also a part of this conversation. I'm like distracted. I decided that I wanted to do this special episode outside. I don't know why. I just felt I haven't been outside in a while. This is a special episode right before our year anniversary, and I just wanted to do it outside. So, um, what I want to do is to share with you lessons from doing over 300 episodes. When I think about it, I cannot actually believe that I've done over 300 episodes already, and within a year. I think this is episode 332, 332. And the first lesson that before I say that, but the reason why I wanted to do this is that I believe that there's a number of people who want to do this. They have they want to have a show. They're thinking about possibly doing a podcast, or just doing lives once a week to incorporate in their business, and just have a conversation. Video and live streaming is the way to really connect to your community. And there's a lot of people, like I was over a year ago, that was talking about it, but there was a lot of things that were getting in the way of that. And so that brings me to the first lesson. The first lesson that I learned relatively quickly is that many times my reasons were just excuses. So the lesson is, don't confuse your excuses for reasons. Just really do an inquiry on that. Um, because there was, like I said, there was a number of things. There was a number of things that I could say that that were good reasons why I shouldn't go live, or I shouldn't do things, and do videos. And I was allowing that that to get in the way of me showing up. And I'm right. The wonderful thing about the sun, right, is that it's in control. So it wasn't in my face. Now it's in my face. But it's all good. So lesson number one was learning the difference between excuses and reasons, and that was important. The lesson number two was a surprising lesson for me, actually. Um, that listening is key. And put simply, being a good listener is the key. I used to think that I was a good listener, and I noticed that even though I wasn't listening to respond like a lot of people do, and we say I'm just listening to respond, I was just listening to words, and I wasn't listening to um, people's hopes, their fears, their disappointments, there all the other things that come along with words. And I think the reason the reason why I believe that listening is key is because too often, I would think that it was about what I was going to say, what I needed to say. I wanted to have a platform. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but putting myself in a place where I would listen, really listen to what people, it really helped me. And so, is that something that it will cause you to be successful with a podcast? You want to listen to your guests, right? But you want to listen on a level, so it's not just ask the same questions and do the things, but really get to the place where you can listen on a level that'll make a difference. It'll make a difference for you, and it'll make a difference for them, because the more that you listen deeply, the more that people will share deeply. So listening is key. The other thing is that uh, imperfect actions um, are the only actions that we take. I used to really, and I say used to, but I still find myself in this because we're conditioned to believe that there are imperfect actions and there's perfect actions. The lesson that I learned by doing all of these episodes is it's all imperfect. You know, the actions that I take are imperfect, and the more that I'm willing just to take an action, then I could, see what I've created, see what I've been able, have the results to really show up for something. And so, imperfect actions are the only actions that you take. That's it. Even with a lot of information, even with wonderful friends, and that's what we have in the community, that I'm in, with entrepreneurs and soon to be, um, um, entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, is that you have to get to the place where there are no perfect actions. And so the more that you really learn that and get that for yourself, then you can just stay in action. And the more that you stay in action, the more that you'll see, um, how you want to show up in the world. So, yeah, so I just really, I've really learned that, and I will tell you that's a relearning process, because there's a lot of unlearning with that. Um, the other lesson that I got, and sometimes I really, um, I have a question about this, because you'll watch some of my episodes, um, and you know I didn't like my camera, my web camera, from day one, and it's like, you know what? I'm just more concerned about pushing go live, right? And and so the lesson that I learned is to go with what you got, right? Really, um, really embrace the fact that the information that you have, the um, the equipment that you have, the technology that you currently have, is is what is needed to just get started. You can make some changes later, but don't get so caught up with the perfect camera or the perfect microphone or the perfect whatever. Um, there, there are so many episodes. I mean, even in the 200s, that my lighting was off. I moved my lights. I thought I made it work. Or I tried a new camera and it didn't work, or something. But I just really decided that I was committed to creating this. So I just didn't let technology or many things that I felt that I was lacking to get in the way. So the other thing that I learned. So I really want you to get this, and I really it was a game changer for me. Is that I have friends who want to support me. You have friends that want to support you. That it is. I mean, on a level that will make a difference. And I always speak to that. A level that makes a difference. That many times we believe that we have our crew, we have, our family, and there's like we feel like, okay, I can count on my hand who I can trust and who I can really kind of do something with. But in order for me to really get to 300, and over 300 episodes, um, I had to reach out to my friends. And there was a lot of friends that I don't know if I thought they were going to say no, or they didn't have time, or whatever I said in my mind. I didn't believe that at least the first 125 episodes were primarily my friends. It was people that not only that I was connected with on social media, but they were people that I knew, that I spent some time with, that I didn't know, that were cheering me on from a distance, and they were just waiting, in some cases, begging me to give them an opportunity for them to help me, to support me in what I'm doing. And so that was a big lesson, because there was a story that I had for myself that nobody understood me, nobody appreciated, nobody understood me, so nobody wanted to help me. And and so that was a large part of the story that kept me from being small, right? And not showing up, in my life and the things. And so I really learned that you have a lot more friends that you think. You have a lot more support than you think, that will allow you to do some crazy, amazing things. Um, the Yeah, I hope that you sit with that for a while, and I will suggest to you to just, you know, after watching this, just, and probably just now, if you have something to write with, just start writing down um, your friends. Just writing down. Okay, this is my friend. This is, just write down the friend, and you will be surprised. You'll be surprised how many people that want to support you and is waiting to support you. Um, so there's another a lesson that I got, and it's around language. Is that the casualness that I had with my language um, really caused me not to be in relationship with people, not have conversations, and what I've got from doing this show, not just one word conversations, um, but all of the other ways that I've shown up. Um, it was just it wasn't it wasn't just kind of picking my words um, wisely, or just kind of um, trying to be perfect in my words, but just understand that the words that the words that you use to to explain the show that you might want to do, or how you're showing up in your business. It's just your understanding of it, and so it's not like there's a part of our society. I'll just say this: there's a part of our society that has this drop the mic mentality, right? I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and you just get it. That's it. And I think in order to create a show, or to create a community, you have to you have to recognize your relationship to your language, and meaning what you're saying, how you're communicating with people. And I think that was a lesson that I got, that I really, like I said, I really thought that I was, um, a good communicator. I'm a DTM in Toastmasters, for God's sakes, right? But there was still a level of my communication and the way that I was approaching language that was getting way. Um, so there's a lot of here's the lesson. I was just going to say it, but I'll put it in a lesson that even though I'm using StreamYard is very user friendly for me, and that was another thing. Find a technology that you will use, that you're comfortable with. The comfortability factor with me using StreamYard um, really caused me to just show up. It caused me to play. It caused me to try new things, and just kind of to do it. There's a number of different streaming options out there, and they're all great. And because I've tried it, I've tested a couple, and I've seen friends use a couple of the other ones. Um, but for you, find something that you will use, that you will say, okay, I understand this, and I'm just going to go for it. And the more that you're able to just take out the stress of, the technology aspect, of it, then you'll be committed to showing up. And that's the other thing, the other lesson that I got from the usability factor is that I got for myself, like right after my first episode, that I needed to commit. I needed to commit to this daily. I needed to commit to this conversation, to this show daily. And to be honest, I was able to do that because I was still growing my business, and I didn't have a lot of clients at the time, and I spent most of the time beating myself up because I didn't have clients, or I was, you know, learning more stuff and doing things. So I had a lot of time on my hands, so I just added a show there. But I I learned very quickly that really ask myself, um, before and after you start, what you're committed to, what you're committed to, and at the same time, be okay with changing, be okay with moving. I started this show. The one reason why I got to over 300 is I started this show 7 days a week. 7 days a week, 1 hour, probably took me 90 minutes and pre and post time and all that, a day to kind of invest in this show. And then I moved to 6 days, and down to four, and now I'm down to the 2 days that I do live. And so, with that, I am okay. There are some days at 11 it feels like, oh, I should be doing something. I should be live, and it's fine. I'm still committed to the conversation. I'm looking to do a lot of things to will help um, you know pick up the audience, or do a lot of different things. Um, but but yeah, it's like nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. But you make the decision, and it's like as soon as I decided that I was going to, you know, not do it 7 days, um, I was okay with that. I was okay with that, and so yeah, you decide if it's once. if it's once a week, if it's once a month, if you know, if it's twice a week, whatever you decide, whatever you're committed to, whatever you're going to support, and be a part of it, um, that will bring you the success and the following that you need. Um, the other thing that I got from that too, even though it's a part of my conversation in the world of being yourself, right? I'm a self-awareness coach, and I invite people to be themselves, and I had to learn for myself very quickly. I think that I am going to do this show how I'm going to do it, right? I've had podcast people that have started or done more shows than me, or went to a little more master classes than I, tell me that there are some failings. There are some things that I'm not doing like the more successful podcast hosts are doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm I'm okay with that, because how I honor my guests, how the conversations that I have, how I prepare for my show, the how I leave my guests is, um, it's how I would do it. And so there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of resources, and even this is something too that really, um, that you can listen to or just use as a way forward. Just use as a way to say, you know what, I think that's a good idea, but I'm going to try it my own way, and just be okay with that. And so, yeah, there's a lot of lessons, and there's more lessons that, one, I learned, one, because of doing the show so much, is that marketing is a big piece, letting people know about it. And it was very hard for me to market my show, or to get people consistently watching, even though live. There's a lot of people that watch in the replay, because you're gonna, no matter if you stream live, no matter when you pick, there are going to be people who are busy doing something else, right? Doing their life, doing their work, and that's okay. But the more that you're able to make it available, advertise, get people to go, and I think that's when I moved from 7 to now 2 days. I am slowly working on really marketing at a level to really um, transform how many people able to see. I mean, even though I've had conversations with people. I have an audience, international audience, that see this show. I believe that it's bigger, and I and the way that I can do that is by letting people know. The other thing that I learned truly, and this is a lesson that I want you to get, and I think you can. I invite you to try this on for yourself. Is that you have something to say? That there's a perspective. The card that I picked for today, I forgot to do my advertisement at the beginning of, I'd say, this show is sponsored by IamWilliamBrown.com, a place for you to be yourself and live your life. And I spotlight the U cards, and the U card that I picked for today. I felt led only to pick one card today, for this special episode, is that I am curious. I am curious. And I think the more that I embrace that I am curious and what that means, that I can show up for this conversation and just kind of do it. And it's like this. I I don't know why I wanted to do this outside, and I did. Right? You know, I was able to really just um, not be in my office and do it from there with um, and so you can do it anywhere. So yeah, I hope those lessons help you, could cause you to show up for yourself. I think I wanted to have this conversation, and I will put this down in the comments, or I invite you to put down in the comments too, or maybe make a PDF, right? Make a downloadable PDF that that you can have, to really have something to look at, for you to really see that, um, it's just be in action. Um, um, once you it's not that once you understand the why, because I don't there's part of that I I still don't believe. It's not about the why for me, it's the what for, but it may be the why for you. But whatever the reason that you're doing, and you can look at all of the other things, things that you want to talk to, the clients that you want to talk to, and the people that you want to serve, and all of those things that, the work that you've already done, um, to really just trust yourself, and realize um, that you are enough. And I think that's the last lesson that I learned for myself. Even though there were many times that I don't want to say I felt like I was a fraud, or I felt like, what the hell am I doing, right? Why do I need, there's all of these, there's all of these podcasts out there, and there's still, a lot more coming. What can I possibly say, to of have to say? But the more that I was able to embrace that, the more that I was able to just say, you know what? Yeah, I have something to say, and I have something to share, and I'm going to share it. And if I have one view live, that's enough. And yeah, I'm just excited. I can honestly say, that I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this show. But I know that this is a combination. This conversation is a lifetime conversation. This is a lifetime conversation. So, however, this conversation forms, that however the platform that it's on, that it's happening, I'm committed to this conversation. Um, this may go to one day a week, or this may go to once a month. You know, you know, I don't know. I know that this is a life conversation that I want to have, and that I'm excited, about. And I invite you to join me on Friday, when you know it's like I have surprise. I'm like, I am speaking surprises, right? There are going to be surprises on the show, right? There's going to be a lot of fun. I Yeah, I'm going to bring some returning guests, and I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know. It's just, um, wow, I can't believe I was getting emotional there. I just want to thank them, right? Um, uh, Yeah, I just want to thank the returning guests, and just to kind of to say that, hey, you know, my friends and my new friends, that thank you, thank you for having a one word conversation with me. Because it's made a difference. You know, little fact um, um, that yeah. I'm also going to have, within um, the first 15 minutes or so, I'm going to have the year, the man and woman of the year, uh, leukemia and lymphoma campaign, um, someone on, and we're just going to talk. I'm just gonna say what I want to, say. I want to, hopefully I can invite people that I've talked to before about, just being on. Maybe I'll turn into a telethon too. That maybe we can raise. Well, how about this? We can raise the $30,000 on Friday. Let's do that. You know, you know, 333. Right? Let's let's the threes. Um, I think, what is that? I'll figure out something. I'll put that. This is, I want, yeah, I want to figure out what 333, right, times a number that will get us to um, 30,000. All right. I want to see. I'm just gonna play with the math here. I'm gonna have some fun, and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna raise $30,000 on Friday. Wouldn't that be incredible? That would be amazing. As the sun goes down, and there is, um, yeah. Hopefully, I didn't go off the rails there. The lessons that I've learned, I learned that if I want to do something amazing, I don't have to go too far, right? I just have to show up, do some imperfect actions, and just make it. And that's another lesson within itself. So I I really hope that this has brought value, not to just to your day, but to your life. That whatever you want to show up for, that you remember that the world wants you, the world needs you, but the world isn't waiting for you. So go be you. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you on Friday for episode 333. Blessings.